So Oliver, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
It's the second episode of our experimental rambling about anything medicine related, and today's subject is story of how we got into medicine, what kept us into medicine, and this journey. So we'll start with you, Oliver. What got you into the medicine, and what did you get out of it?
Well, I'm very much a beginner. I'm very much new to medicine, and I'm new to calling it medicine. I used to call it drugs, and it's only after being healed to a certain extent that I've realised that calling it drugs is kind of like an ignorant misconnotation. And
well, my explanation when people ask me or call it a drug, I say it was a medicine for 4,000 years, and it's only been a drug for the last 30 years.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
what wins?
Exactly. If it's not been made in a laboratory by a big multinational, doesn't seem worthy of the name drug. But anyway, so I'm very new to this field, and really I got here because I guess in sort of like the true way of the world, I was driven here by pain. I was driven here by sickness, by a sort of illness of the soul, I guess, like just this feeling of meaninglessness and pointlessness, like life had no purpose. It was just this sort of random chaotic event, and it was devoid of any reason, or it was just a very hollowed out experience, really, and that led me sort of deeper into this progressive depression, which was sort of accompanied by anxiety, which I'm convinced these two things are like just different sides of the same thing, personally. And so I was really sort of going downhill in a low place. On the outside I was fine. I was projecting or putting on a happy facade, and didn't really talk about it apart from with my girlfriend, who I thankfully can confide in about these things. And just this sort of spiritual search of mine that had been going on for maybe 3 years, and now I realise it was sort of like it was this back to front search. I was maybe projecting this corporate hierarchy or this structure of society onto this spiritual path, as if I had to reach the top of this pyramid and reach a particular goal, like enlightenment or ego death, but ultimately I was always trying to achieve something that by definition I perceived that I didn't have, and so it really created this sense of void and lack inside me. And I think this was like the black hole that I came to know as depression and anxiety, and really just the absence of any feelings of joy or appreciation or love for life or vitality. And I'm grateful that in one moment whilst travelling, after several beers or cocktails that loosened me up enough to start going into this at more depth with my girlfriend, it's kind of a moment I realised how bad I was feeling and how long I'd been feeling that bad. Even though I'd been travelling for 2 years, like free reign, just travel wherever I wanted. I went to South America, Europe, Turkey, Mexico. Like I was literally living the dream, but it wasn't filling this void, and the negativity just deepened. So there was just this one moment where I just realised that I needed help, and I'd considered going to therapy. My girlfriend had kindly offered to gift me a session or two as a present, and maybe there was some sort of pride or stigma there. It was, or some denial of not wanting to be known as being someone that's mentally ill or whatever.
It's a bit of a sad present.
Happy
birthday. Yeah. Happy birthday. Here's some
Happy
therapy.
birthday, you're sick.
Yeah.
And maybe it wasn't rude of me not to take her up on the offer, because I mean, if I had have done, maybe I wouldn't have found this path. So
it's like offering someone who has bad breath a chewing gum.
Yeah,
You want to chew
it's
gum?
thoughtful, but kind of rude as well. Yeah, exactly. And in that moment I just felt called. That's when the call came for me. It was just this knowing that this is something that I've not tried, it's something that I'm aware of, it's something that I've wanted to do because I've had recreationally enjoyable and sort of spiritually insightful moments from psychedelics in the past anyway. And that was the beginning of my journey from that point geographically in Turkey to Peru.
How many ceremonies have you had so far, and like was there some sort of progression, or was it chaotic? Like, we already know your last 5 ceremonies in detail, but before that, how many more you had, and what kind of kept you in it?
So with regards to ceremonies, the 5 that I did with you, and then I had 2 before that, which I alluded to in the last episode, which was quite a negative experience. Other than that, my use of psychedelics, if I called it ceremonial, I'd just be sort of lying to myself, because it was, although I treated it with respect and it was sort of a personal, alone, meditative experience, there was no shamans present.
It was recreational use.
It was recreational use.
There's some people that say recreational is good because you're recreating yourself.
Yeah, well, I've never heard that before,
Yeah.
but it makes perfect sense. That's exactly what I was trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it was recreational use, but with a sort of psychological, spiritual goal.
So it's fair to say your last 5 days at the retreat that was just ended a few days ago, this was the deepest you went? And
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Okay.
That was my sort of real introduction into the world of ceremony and medicine and shamanic or taita practices.
Okay.
And yeah, it was quite an introduction.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
a good story for those of you who want to hear his complete experience with his 5 ceremonies with us and progression, which is like a 1-hour episode in itself, because we really go deep. Go to previous episode. You'll probably be able to find it somewhere where you found this one. Okay. As you can see, we're new to that. Okay, I'll ask myself a question then. How I got there.
Well, that was my next question, yeah, about your journey, and you've got more experience in this field, so it's interesting to hear how you got here.
Yeah, so my first ayahuasca experience, first of all, I've never had any psychedelics before ayahuasca. It was my first ever psychedelic, and I also never had anything you would call drugs. I maybe tried marijuana a couple of times and felt nothing, so I went straight to the deep end. Ayahuasca,
Yeah,
a lot of
big
people
time.
say it's the strongest and the most serious thing out there, and I just plunged right in. I can't really remember what called me in it. Excuse me. A bit of allergies. A friend of mine planted a seed in my head. A guy in Ecuador, he worked for UN and he worked with indigenous people in Ecuador and jungle. Actually, where Ecuador meets Colombia is where the Putumayo region of Colombia is where our Taita or shaman comes from. So it's from those same tribes. It's Cofan, Siona, Inga. They're there in that like little circle in between Ecuador and Peru, where the Amazon jungle plain meets the Andes mountains.
Okay.
There's a big circle, a big concentration of different medicines, and ayahuasca is very traditional there. He planted that seed into my head that this is like the amazing thing and it's just life-changing, and he believed that it could heal any disease. And there was a moment, and I don't really remember why, but something was calling me to do it, even though I was afraid to do it. Like, I was really afraid. I remember first time I was going, I was like, I'll probably die and I know why I'm doing it, but I just had no choice. I had to do it. It was really a calling.
Yeah.
And my first experience was incredibly beautiful. I just my first vision was my hands becoming roots and just growing into the ground behind my back, and and then I kept seeing images of like pyramids and all sorts of sacred geometry, and the visions were dancing together with with the music, so I could synesthesia, and I could see the music, and I could see with my eyes closed. I could know where the title was. Somehow, and like some people as well. So it's very incredible, and it was kind of like very euphoric, very pleasant. It was like a kind of like a full body orgasm for a couple hours. Nothing sexual about it. Just I'm struggling for words to explain that experience. After that, I forgot about it. I did one mushroom trip because of, once again, they kind of came to me. I didn't really seek them out, and it was also very beautiful. But after that, I forget about it till the moment there where my life came to the point that you described previously. You were at, like, everything seemed to be amazing on the surface, like something that the lifestyle a lot of people would dream of. I didn't have to work. I mean, by no means I'm rich, but my passive income was enough to maintain my lifestyle. I have a beautiful wife. I had a son on the way. I live in this green paradise in Colombian countryside. But deep inside, I was hollow, and I was directionless, and I was lost. And I remember that moment that you described as well, where you just realized I'm really mentally in a very bad place. And I never felt that before. Like I was sad most of my life because my life was miserable, and I was doing the job I hated. But there was always this movement, like, oh, you go to work and then you come back, and then there's something happens. So you never have time to face your demons.
Exactly.
And I always had distractions, right? Distractions. Like for many years, I was just, dating a lot and like pursuing that. This was my escape. And it allowed me not to feel pain, but it never took it away. It's like, kind of treating symptoms with like superficial joy-inducing activities. Different people find different escapes. It's drugs for someone, computer games,
That was most of my 20s, basically, so I can relate to that.
So, and think about how many people that are doing this. Most people are escaping something. So I was doing that, and but then now I just faced myself, and I realized like nothing was distracting me from just sitting down and realizing I'm miserable. And I couldn't know why, because from a conventional point of view, I should have been like, life is a dream. So, and that was a moment I remembered about ayahuasca, because I think more than a year has passed, and I was like, there was this thing that kind of had solutions for some, because I overheard people talking about the effects it had on them. So I went back into ayahuasca. It was in the middle of COVID. I thought maybe nothing is happening because people come in groups, and the girl I met at the first ceremony, she always kept, we got in touch. She was always like inviting me to different places, and I hit her up and I said, any ayahuasca please, as soon as possible. I need it. And every weekend she would send me something, and I would drive like 3 hours away to another town and do ayahuasca, and for three ceremonies, or like 3 short retreats in a row, I felt nothing. I was so frustrated. Like my first experience was so amazing, and I just every every ceremony I would just lie down and expect the same thing to happen. I would put my hands to my sides, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna feel that, I'm gonna feel that, and it wouldn't happen. Nothing would happen. I was really frustrated, and eventually I learned to let go, and eventually I got my experience, and I started looking for, I got this deep desire to go to jungle, which is madness. Like, it's nothing nobody ever done in my family or within my friends. It's like, jungle is something hostile, you don't want to go there. But I was like, I really need to go to jungle, and I was like turning every rock and trying to find ways to get in the jungle. I met this indigenous lady, a Maima is a female version of a Taita. It's a female shaman. I went to her ceremony specifically just to get introduced to her by that friend and try to create that connection. Maybe she could receive me. And she said yes. So I was planning and to see where I can make it happen, because I still had to do some work in my apartment. I needed to be rented, and walls needed to be painted. Things were happening. So I was planning, and I knew it was going to happen soon. And then the divine intervention, a guy just messaged me on Facebook, and he's like, I saw you promoting, because I'm renting a couple rooms in the finca where we live. Finca is like an estate. This is where we are right now. This is where we live with my family. He said, can I rent your place? I'll pay you for the space, and I'll do the ceremony. And I said, Yeah, of course, because immediately I thought like, finally I can drink ayahuasca and not have to like drive afterwards next morning for 3 hours. It's extremely difficult. And but when he came here to see the place, and we kind of like thought about it, and he basically said that I'm gonna go to the jungle, and then when I come back we can do it. I'm like, you going to the jungle? He's like, yeah, a week from now. I'm like, can I join you? And he said, yeah, sure, why not? So I joined them, and like kind of jungle came to me in the end. I was seeking it out, like I was forcing it, but eventually when time came, it just So we went to the jungle next weekend, and the guide. Sorry, we went to drink with Gonzalo's brother.
Okay.
Jose Francisco Jojoapai, if I'm not mistaken. And Gonzalo was at that ceremony. That's where I met Gonzalo. So when people know that Gonzalo, the shaman we currently work with, who's a gem, an amazing shaman, people know that he never came to cities before to give medicine. So kind of like I discovered him and brought him to people. But in a way, he discovered me, because at that first ceremony in the jungle, he was my 6th ceremony overall, something like that. I was still very fresh into the journey. He came to me after the ceremony. You know him. He's a guy who doesn't speak much. People know him. He doesn't speak much. Unless you talk to him, he's not going to talk. So he came to me.
Does the talking.
Yeah, he doesn't talk much. He basically says, let's just do the ayahuasca, and then if something they'll ask me. He's not trying to like throw dust in your eyes. He doesn't need it, because like by the time you've done retreat with him, you know, like, oh fuck, this guy's amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not worried. Are we allowed to swear at our podcast? I guess
we can beep it out.
I guess so. Beep. Yeah. So he came to me and he said, I couldn't take my eyes off you the entire night. I'm like, why? This is strange. And he said that he was looking at me and he was seeing me as he sees other titans during the ceremony. And I don't know what he sees, but what he described is that I was like rubbing myself with my hands, and he said that every time I would pass my hand over, he would see like white light coming from my hands, and then you see I'm getting goosebumps. Every time I would pass my hand over something, it would be like squeaky clean, like energetically, everything would be clean. So he told me that. And next night, when I got to Putumayo, that's the jungle part next to Ecuador border, I immediately messaged this Maima I was talking to, because she kind of accepted to take me, and it was kind of this promise. And I said, like, I'm gonna be here for about a week. Is there any ceremonies coming up I'd like to attend? And she said the only one will be tomorrow. And we had a program four nights in a row with this with Gonzalo's brother's family. We drank with the son, we drank with him, and I asked for permission. Is it okay if I leave for one night? They said okay. And like literally next night after Gonzalo told me this, I went and I drank with this Maima. Her name is Mamita Concha, and her husband, his name is Guillermo, who's also a Taita. And the medicine just blasted me through the universe, and I could see the mechanism of this space. It's as if I was opening a bonnet on the car, and like looking like this is what I was looking like, how everything works, and like, because I'm an engineer, I worked with engines for a long time. I guess that's my analogies.
Yeah, it gave it you in the way that you'd understand. Like,
exactly. I was seeing this mechanism. There was like, what they describe angels in the Bible? There's like concentric circles that with like bunch of eyes, and I don't remember seeing eyes, but I do remember concentric circles like moving like this, but they're moving like a clockwork mechanisms, and they were entities, because I remember the message was like, welcome, but we're very busy, like we're not going to talk to you, so something is very busy happening, and like just feel free to like hang out, but like don't bother us.
Don't disturb us.
And when I started coming back from this journey, I started singing those Icaros, like the shamanic chants, and like, I was very early to the medicine, and I wasn't even looking for. I never thought about becoming a healer or anything like that. I just wanted to like heal my depression, like what I think was depression, because I was never diagnosed, but the symptoms are extremely similar, because we work with a lot of people with depression. So, and it just started showing me those images of hands and healing people, and like the way it should be done, and like instructional book. I was like as if I was like this concrete platform where we are now. One of the visions was I was standing on it bare feet, and I had a massage table in front of me, and I was healing a friend of mine, that the guy that I'm kind of pushing in that direction. But I was healing him with my hands, right? And there were many images like that. And at the same time, I was singing those chants. It would sound something like something in the tune of like hey he, but much more complex. There was many of them. I just I don't remember. And I was slowly coming back to my body, and then the guy in the group, a French guy, came to me and said, like, do you have any pills for the headache? And I would look at him and I couldn't even reply. I was so deep into it. I would just like I couldn't reply. Like I couldn't master my body. But after about 10-20 minutes, when I started to come back, the minister told me, you can help him. And he told me, like, okay, go to him and do that. So I came to him and I was like, dude, this will sound extremely strange. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm getting these instructions. Like, can I do it? And when I was looking at him, his headache, I could see it as an orange triangle, like a sharp orange triangle on his forehead. And the medicine told me to put one of my hands on his forehead and another hand on the floor, and basically take his pain, pass it through me, and put it in the ground.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what I did. It was like a very like tense moment, and I was just like focused on, and like it was an effort, but not physical, neither mental. It was kind of like spiritual effort, so to speak. And I did it, and after that, like I felt, okay, the work is done. So I said, like, okay. Later on, he said that his headache went away, and the funniest part is that he was drinking the medicine, but he wasn't feeling anything like happened to me. But after that experience, like 10 minutes later, he was walking to the bathroom, and he ended up pants off somewhere in the middle, just lying on the floor. Like, he completely lost it.
So
like,
the medicine worked for that gentleman.
He blasted through. So I like to assume that maybe something that I did to him and whatever was removed
unblocked him in some way.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this was one of my only 2 ever healing experiences. Because so after that, next morning I asked the Maima, like, what do I do? What can I do about this thing? Is it real? Is it not real? She said basically drink a lot of ayahuasca and it will tell you what to do. After that I came and I kept drinking with the Gonzalez family. Back then I didn't know Gonzalo was a Taita. He never gave us medicine. He was just there sitting in the corner and helping either his brothers or his nephews.
Sure.
I didn't know that he cooked all the medicine for them, including the one that we were drinking. Yeah, long story short, I came back home. The guy that asked me, who we went to jungle with, we ended up organizing the ceremony, but he tried to cheat me, and basically instead of like paying me for the space, he said, like, why don't you just organize everything and I'll come and give the medicine. And I spent like 2 million pesos to organize this place, buy the mattresses, chairs, buckets, all the necessary stuff, wood. Even just on wood alone, it cost me 100,000 pesos. And
I noticed how much wood you go through, to keep the fire going.
After entire ceremony and the work, and I drank with him as well, and like he only gave me 80,000 pesos, which is like not even enough to cover the expenses on the wood. But anyways, like his greed and like his bad behavior ended up like pushing me in the direction like, okay, I have everything to do ayahuasca retreats, but I don't want to do it with this guy. And then another guy that I met in the jungle was a young shaman. I started bringing him, we started working. It kind of all gradually just happened to me. Like there was no moment where I was like, okay, let's do an ayahuasca retreat. It was just like, okay, I have those mattresses and those chairs and those buckets, like, and I want to go do ayahuasca, and I don't really want to drive like far away. Why don't I just make it happen? And it just kind of gradually started to fall in place and growing. And eventually I got this second shaman also we grew apart because of some actions he did, not related to the medicine, but his behavior, personal behavior. And I was looking for a shaman. I reconnected with Gonzalo's nephew, and he said, why don't you invite my uncle? So I brought Gonzalo. So it's like he discovered me in a way, my spiritual journey, and then I discovered him because I said, like, Gonzalo, do you want to come and work here with the medicine, with the retreats they're organizing? He said, we're going to think about it. And then he said, yeah, I think I'm ready. So kind of like, even though he's 63, he's only now ready. So I brought him out, and like he discovered me, I discovered him. And now, last 6-7 months we've been doing amazing retreats with him, and people got the best healing so far. Our previous retreats were good, but they were never as good. Because obviously shamans are like fine wine, the older the better. But So that's how I came into starting the retreat. Obviously, I did a lot of work. It didn't just magically happen. It's a lot of work. I work all the time. I'm always on my phone, promoting and creating. And as I always explain, I'm walking this fine line in between finding balance in between like helping people and healing people and making money, and those are very different mindsets. And if I swing towards one, everything falls apart. If I just go like come give me money, I don't care about you, and just give me money and go away as quickly as possible, that's not going to work. But if I also swing on the other side, and all I think about is spirituality, and I just drink ayahuasca every day, and I stop going on Facebook and promoting or replying to people's messages, everything will fall apart.
Just float away.
So it's a very painful sort of balance to keep. I kind of swing to one side, then immediately swing to another, and but this is what allows my Taita not to think about those things, and he can be more pure, just focus on healing. So all he needs to do is come and give the medicine and not care about nothing else, no organizational questions. So this is how I got here. This is where we are.
It's nice how what started as a journey for like self-healing and self-betterment managed to organically grow into something that can then be shared with other people. It's a very like natural, organic, almost like a pure way of it comes across to me as like a very sort of pure journey, as opposed to how most businesses are started. Oh, I know, I need some money because I need to live, so I'm going to do this thing because it's going to pay me X amount or whatever. And
so it was all kind of born in this moment. It's hard to say which moment it was born. Would it still happen if I wouldn't go to jungle and this guy would do a retreat with me and fail me? But I like to believe that it was born in that moment where the medicine told me like, okay, you need to, that's your gift, and you need to drink a lot of ayahuasca. And I just had no choice, because the retreats here didn't start happening immediately after I came back. I kept going every weekend to drink somewhere else and like try to find the Taita I would be working with. And then the retreat happened and the whole failure happened. But so for me it happened like this. First, ayahuasca took away the symptoms of depression, just made me feel better, even though like it was not completely gone. But then through that journey, it gave me a purpose, and this is what forever like fixed my depression, or at least it's hard to say because I have ayahuasca at least once every. Maximum was the 4 months when I had to wait for the birth of my second child. And it's easy to say, right? The depression went away because I got the purpose. Would it work if would have just worked purely ayahuasca itself, like without finding something to be focused on? Like it's something. There seems to be this connection. There seems to be this connection between purpose and depression.
I was just going to say, I completely agree. That it's this lack of something, or even if you seem to think you've got a purpose, say you've got a full-time job, but you're still depressed. It may have been Jim Carrey or something that once said, or Robin Williams, that depression is your soul telling you that it doesn't like the role that your ego is playing. It's like if you're not on the right path, depression is that sort of the absence of your truth or your true path manifesting as this sort of negativity, which is like this stimulus to try and do something about it. And so I completely agree with that thought.
There is this science that we're only happy when we're giving something to someone or helping someone. So I think the depression can also come where you feel that whatever you're doing is not really providing value. You don't feel valuable. Like old people commonly die not because they're sick, they just die because they kind of get tired of living because they feel they're useless, or even worse, they feel like they're weighing on their family.
Yeah, that's a big one. Sucking the life out of people, or the resources, or.
So I gradually, there was a process. Like I went there to find healing, and I came back with the purpose. And I'm still very early on my, healer trainee kind of journey, because I do drink ayahuasca regularly. Whenever we host a 1 week retreat, I try to have at least one night for myself where I can drink and go deep. And once every half a year or so, I get a lesson. Like sometimes I drink ayahuasca and I look at the person, I can see their organs inside and like see what's healthy and what's not. One time, or sometimes it tells me like, okay, you can go and help this person, but it's extremely rarely. So it's like this whole thing requires a lot of patience. And there's definitely a gift, and there's definitely a talent, and there's definitely this this thing that I need to develop. But the problem with like white shamans or like white healers is that people have, let's say, if after that ayahuasca experience I would come back and say I'm a healer and like start putting my hands on people and trying to heal them, you know, maybe I don't know what would have happened, but I would probably just suck somebody's disease into me and just die. You need to be very, very patient. That's why all shamans are so old, because it takes a lifetime to learn. And it's not a linear progression. It's people really lack patience these days. So many people come to us from retreats where they drank with non-indigenous people who've only been doing it for 5 to 10 years, and they come back with horror stories that they didn't really know what to do, and it was all ego-based. And I would say it is hard not to get your ego involved, because when you say like, oh, medicine gave me the gift, and like, look at me, I'm special, there's definitely a little bit of ego that is triggered, and you're like, yeah, it's nice. But what I like is this philosophy of you having whatever gift medicine gave you, because I honestly believe every person has a gift. All it means is you're a channel for that thing. It does not come directly from
it's
you.
not intrinsically a quality or property.
Like Gonzalo says, healing comes from the God. All I am is a vessel or a conductor. So you can see him a lot of times when he does the healing. He kind of raises his hand and one hand goes above, another head goes on the head of the patient or like nearby, and he's just like, God, you know, please help me heal this son of yours, and like, you know, limpia purifica, you know, clean him and make his life better and remove all those negative emotions. That's a really, really good way to think about it. Just don't put too much accent on yourself and on what you do, because like there's something beyond you. And all we are is just tools.
Exactly. Well, he certainly gave me a good cleaning, so I can vouch for your Taita.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe when I'm 70 or something, I'll call myself Taita as well. Even though really I think it's such a difficult job. I don't know whoever would decide to do it for a living. I think it's kind of like, you know, in the superhero movies, they always have to convince the hero to come and help them because he doesn't want that responsibility. And you know, as Taita was describing this process of initiation of Taita, where you have to drink a liter of ayahuasca, and a lot of people die.
It's making me feel sick already.
A lot of people die during this process, so it's a very big filter in between normal person and a shaman. And obviously, it's easy to just say you had 3 cups, and you're like, it seems easy, you know. You give people cups, but they don't see the bottom side of the iceberg. All of this work and like those spiritual concepts that we don't even like, we can't even perceive, but they not only they can perceive it, but also affect them.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's the story. That's the story of Oliver's journey with medicine, my personal story with medicine, and also how I ended up with an ayahuasca retreat. That's went from a passion to profession slowly. And I want to share, so we talked about past, and now let's talk about future. So I want to share a little bit about my vision for where we're heading and why. This place here where we live was like a little experiment for me, because we have 2 bedrooms here, and I set up one terrace. I set up 2 desks there, so it's kind of like a co-working space, eco hotel, because you're in the nature. People, there's a gym, there's ice bath, sauna, so a little bit of things to focus on your physical health. Plenty of places to walk around, and then occasionally over the weekends or sometimes longer, we would do psychedelic retreats. preferably
don't forget the
ayahuasca.
orange trees.
And yeah, there's
Delicious
fruits and
orange
stuff
trees.
like that. So it was a test trial, and then we've done it for several years, where we would have people come and stay with us, and then participate in the ceremonies, and then work. And so my vision is not just to have a ayahuasca retreat, because there's plenty of those. My vision is to have a like a little tribe thing going on. Like I don't really have a terminology for it yet, not names, but it's going to be a combination of three main ingredients: community, because there will be people coming there to drink ayahuasca and also to stay and live there and work, and they will be meddling with each other, and magic will happen because they will use the psychedelic creativity to actually come back to the real world and make an impact. So once again, talking about this balance, because there's plenty of places where people go to disconnect from the world, but if they all disconnect from the world, who's going to change the world then? Like if you just like close your eyes on the problems and don't come up with some kind of solutions, and
Exactly.
maybe in the form of companies or businesses or some kind of informational products or books, that can affect many people. So that's the first pillar, community. Second pillar is mindfulness, mostly coming in the form of psychedelics. So there will be ayahuasca retreats, San Pedro retreats, peyote retreats. Hopefully, if the mushrooms ever become legal in this country, mushroom retreats, because it's an amazing medicine as well. And then meditation, silent retreats, yoga, anything that helps with that. And like, this is what will bring people to us, and then they will want to stay for the community. They'll come for psychedelics, but stay for the community.
Yeah.
Because as Oliver noticed with his group, people bonded extremely. It's
People
like a
bonded
family
very
now.
well. I didn't want to leave.
Just 1 week.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
Just 1 week.
and
it
imagine
was-
if you have people like this, you had several ceremonies with,
Yeah.
and all those ideas that come up, and all this expertise. Like our group was like, there were marketing people, there were people who are musicians, there are people that do all sorts of work, and everyone wants to help everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
So one day you do ayahuasca retreat, and then this week is over, and you just keep doing those word circles, and you just start talking about other problems. Like, hey guys, I'm running this business and I have this problem, and then boom, people come up with solutions, and then expertise find itself with this creativity and inspiration from the psychedelics, and then people go in and confront the world and build something amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when people ask them, like, how did you come to that success? They'll say, there was this amazing place, and I think that's the best form of marketing. Coming up with a product so amazing, with the transformation so amazing that people would just not be able to say no.
Yeah, definitely.
And the third part is health, physical health. So we would have, you could bathe in a cold river, do sauna, you can go hiking, running. There will be a restaurant with the healthy food. And actually there's 4 pillars. The fourth one is productivity, because there will be a co-working space with desks, and I will design the place in such a way that people will always be, there will be like a center through which all lines pass. There's one place where you come, you grab a coffee, you sit down, you work, and you'll be forced to like interact with other people. That eventually this magic will happen. Obviously there will be interaction in the retreats, but there will be different groups from different retreats, different medicines, and somehow there is this belief in me that in the core of this magic will happen. Even though I know there's magic in all those individual components, it's kind of like what's this Avengers movie where he has a glove and like 5 stones?
I'm not sure. I'm not a big Avengers. I know what you mean.
I just saw like videos where he slaps and like magic happens because like you have 4 different. We need I need to come up with the 5th one, but it's still a fresh kind of thing. But that's my vision.
I know exactly what you mean though. Like synergy. Like the result will be greater than the sum of its parts. Like you bring all these different things together. And just on a side note on what you said before, at this retreat we've just done, if I was a remote worker and came to this retreat and there was like a hostel type setup to stay, I would definitely stay, and I'd work from there and I'd enjoy it, because it was just such a good space of just full of support and love. And if these things you're saying were there, I'd have definitely put my name on the list to stay and work there 100%.
Yeah, another thing is people, when they experience ayahuasca, I would really love them to come 1 week in advance, be in the nature, stay with people who have already done that, build the trust, so they can go into the experience much more positively.
Like the preparation.
Exactly, and then after that they could stay and still be in nature and kind of create new habits and live like healthy. Everything there in this space will be people and procedures and routines will all guide you in the right direction, so you can be effortless. Because obviously we do what we can with the facilities that we have right now, but when people next morning after their last retreat they get in the bus and go to the city, I know that there will be triggers, there will be accidents on the road, or people beeping and people screaming, and there will be traffic, and you go back and there's problems at work, you get connected with internet and you get 1,000 emails, and it's really hard. Like it's sort of like you light that flame with this ceremony, and it's a beautiful flame of pure light, and then you go to the city and it starts being bashed by the wind.
The city's trying
darkness.
really hard to blow it out. Yeah, definitely. That's a great sort of thought with regard to the preparation, because my preparation was in El Poblado for 2 weeks before the retreat, and I love it there, but it's not exactly the most relaxing place to prepare your mind for something like that. And I was actually thinking to myself, imagine what it'd be like to do like something like a Vipassana retreat and then go into the ayahuasca, but even just to be in nature and have that space just to sort of zone out of the busy aspects of life in the city before the trip or the ceremony, I think could magnify the results definitely for a lot of people.
That's another part of my vision, right? People will come to this place from outside and there will be different medicine houses, different ceremonies happening simultaneously sometimes, and you could do a yoga retreat and then go to ayahuasca retreat and then take a couple weeks off and then do a peyote ceremony or an occasional temazcal on like Fridays or whatever structures we come up with. There would be a place where people meet in the evening and just sit by the fire and drink hot chocolate and grill marshmallows and like the idea is there's a person somewhere in the world, he comes into this container of awesomeness and just comes out so much better with ideas and projects and solutions, and just goes and like kind of like how in physics how heat works. Heat is just the vibration of the molecules, right? So it's a place with a lot of vibration, and this like passive little molecule barely makes its way there, and then everyone vibrates like crazy, and it just synchronizes and vibrates, and just with all this energy it flies out and goes somewhere in some small corner, remote corner of the world, and just elevates the vibration
just
of more people.
Yeah, just sending out these charged particles to go and create
and then
these
some
other
of them will
reactions.
come back and that's
nice.
like I have many ways to describe it. It's like I don't know if I came up with this idea logically or it just came to me as a psychedelic dream. It's hard to say. Too much psychedelics, I guess. Not really though. For a facilitator, I'm actually pretty newbie. Like I don't think I had more than 50 ayahuasca ceremonies. I have patients that had more ayahuasca ceremonies than me. I'm very choosy and picky about when I have them, and I'm like in the last half year I've only had 2 ceremonies. Not because I don't like ayahuasca. Like there are also rules and the ways you do it. But so this is my vision for the future. And if you're watching this and you have a lot of money, please let me know, because all I have is ideas. I don't have money. But we do have actually a couple investors already who there's a program, there's an idea that will be win for all of us. So, but if you might be interested and passionate about this vision, there's place for everyone. And if you don't have money, but you want to help creating something like that, like Jared, he'll help me with work, with ideas, with facilitation, and he'll also be a part of that eventually. So there's a part for everyone, and I'm definitely, just if I keep doing one retreat a month like we do now, I'll be comfortable both, personally, because I feel that you saw the gratitude from people, and that just falls on me, and it feels amazing, all those hugs and gratitude and words of thanks. And financially as well, I don't really need much. We're very comfortable right now, but there's this like yearning in me to see this vision come through, come true, and see how it would feel like to live in that kind of community. Because there are communities or like communas where people live and disconnect from the world, but that's not the idea. The idea of is a temporary disconnection. You don't want to just disconnect from the world. Somebody needs to fix the world,
exactly.
right? But not in the dumb manner of just protesting and aggression. There needs to be, I'm sure there is a way to do it smartly. And that's the thing. But that's, I think it's enough to describe to people. I don't want to. What is your vision for the future for yourself?
That's a very good question. I sadly don't yet have, well, not sadly, because I'm becoming more accepting that everything's going to happen in the right time, but I don't have a vision as clear as yours. I very much enjoy your vision. I think it's a beautiful thing to aim for. One of my purposes of coming to the retreat in the first place was to find a bit more direction in my life and find my vision, find my project. And although I've not got there yet in terms of got this tangible thing that I can describe in very intricate ways, I've had sort of glimmers and sort of sparks of inspiration of things that I'd want to do. First and foremost would be to continue my own personal healing, to try and share that in as respectful and responsible way as possible with my loved ones, my friends and family. Hopefully in the sense that they can see my transformation and just my change is enough for them to say, what's happened? How can I get some of this? Hopefully. But in terms of the future, I just guess I feel a lot more comfortable with myself now. I feel a lot more confident in my ability to just go out and seize things. So I'm more of the mindset that whatever I do, it's not really the particular task that matters right now. It's what I put into it, and it's the attitude change that I can do. Say, for example, I try and get a remote job doing what I did previously, working in technology or project management. It's the attitude change, because now I can go into that and see it as a learning experience, see it as an opportunity to share my energy, my passion, my love, and just see it as a two-way thing, really. Instead of just me getting money off a company for giving them my hours, it's more a learning experience. It's me deriving experience and whatnot. In a more sort of aligned sense, my more long-term vision, but I don't yet know how to get there, would be to really, what my heart desires is to become, I think this ceremony has given me a taste of true connection with like the divine, or true purpose, true sort of true, I guess true purpose is probably the best thing to say about it. And my desire would be to align more and more with that and become more connected and share the insights and the inspiration that I can get because of that connection with the people that want to hear it, the people that need to hear it. And I don't know what format that would be in, whether it be in the format of writing, speaking, podcasts or whatever. Just sharing whatever inspiration comes from that connection. So I guess similar to what you were saying earlier, I want to myself become a conduit, but at this moment I don't know what I want to come through the pipe. I just want to focus more on strengthening my connection with spirit and surrendering to the process and allowing that to guide me really through the confusion of life.
Well, the reality is when you start working with psychedelics and ancestral medicines or anything like truly spiritual, like a true form of spirituality, like a real form where you like undeniably see the God, synchronicities start to happen. As I'm
100%,
saying, I did a lot of work to come where we are now, but it was all kind of guided by something else. Like the people would come into my life at exactly the moment I need them, and just like give me a slight push to a certain direction. And there were people who were kind of like steps that I would go from, not meaning I would like be stepping on somebody's heads, but like it's a process. So now you got this inspiration and you're already acquiring tools, because obviously, as I told you, and everyone in the group told me, like, yeah, we really like the way you explain your experiences. You're really elaborate. You're good with words. So words are your tools, right? And then you said you had the social anxiety, but you never really did a videos, and your girlfriend was saying, well, let's start a YouTube channel.
This is very good for that.
Yeah, now we're sitting here talking to the camera, and maybe it goes nowhere, but who cares?
Yeah, who cares? It's the practice and it's fun,
It's fun.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe I was a person that came into your life through that forum, and I said, yeah, let's sit up, and we both need it, and I like talking to you, and let's record it. Yeah. Somebody else will come and they will teach you something else, or like I told you, you should write a book, and we have titles, right? Recycled Souls, Orgasm of the Soul,
and then Hugs from Heaven.
Hugs from no.
Oh no, heaven in a hug. Yeah.
Those were the phrases people used during the word circles, which really like deep phrases, right? Recycled souls. That's like everything about reincarnation.
It was.
Heaven in a hug. How deep is it? Like I don't even think people who don't work with spirituality can understand what it means. Heaven in a hug is like, that moment where there's a heaven in that hug.
The love
and orgasm of a soul. It's when, like we want to describe my first experience. That's what it was, an orgasm of a soul.
Yeah, no, I can relate.
There's nothing sexual about it, but it's the strongest emotion normal people normally feel.
Like a release of this energy that's been trapped, but not in terms of the genitals, in terms of like trapped in the heart, and it just sort of just releases, and it literally is an orgasm of the soul. It's like.
So which one are you going to write first?
Well, I think first I need to improve my spelling and grammar. If my very good friend Alex Prince was ever to watch this video, he'd laugh at the concept of me writing a book, because he knows how bad my spelling is. So once I've sorted that out...
There are people that help you with that.
That's true. There's spell check as well. So I think I'm going to just... This little ember of light I've found, I'm going to continue to feed it and let it grow and see where the inspiration takes me. But I'm certainly enjoying writing at the minute, so that's a good start.
Well, I'm looking forward in, let's say, 2025.
I'll send you the draft copy.
3 years from now, we're going to meet at this beautiful psychedelic incubator that I'm going to create. And you're going to come to one of the circles in the evening by the fire, and everyone will know you because you'll be so famous.
And I'll give out copies of my book.
Give out copies of your signed copies of your books, and people will sit down, and some will read the chapter, and people will be taking notes. That's that'll be a beautiful vision.
You know what? I'll treasure that. I hope that comes true, and let's see what happens.
On that note, let's wrap up. It was a pleasure having you. Hopefully we'll record at least one more before you leave. And this is a new thing happening. Guys, let me know in comments if that's listenable, or of course I know we need to improve the quality of this, and I know when the time is right, the person will come and say, I set up studios for living, how about I help you? And then I'll say, yeah, sure. In this world, everything just happens when you're doing. People told me a lot of times that I'm doing God's work, and I think when you're doing God's work, everyone just wants to help you. People throw money at you, people throw help at you, and
the alignment starts.
And all you need to do is just receive help from correct people at correct times, and then you help even more people. And 1 + 1 is 100 sometimes.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
And looking forward to seeing you at our future episodes.